trip your mind?
The wheel continues to spin on and on. Tumbling around inside the wheel is me, CJ, and laughing at me as I do is my very sassy co-host,
Julie.
Yep, and we are back. We are here. I don't know why you should have introed this the more I think about it because of what we're going to be talking about. But I guess we'll get to that in a little bit because what's been going on this week, Jules? What's happening?
What's happening? Many things. I got into a fender bender, so that was fun times in a new car.
I was going to say in your new car, if I recall.
Yeah, so that was fun. Which actually, it wasn't that bad. Like the person that I slammed into, and I use that term very loosely because I literally just rolled into her at a traffic stop. So
very apropos for this show that you rolled into somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The wheel keeps on spinning.
And sometimes it hits you.
Yeah, right. Most of the time it hits me, but that's a different discussion.
But her car had absolutely zero damage. Mine had like very minimal, like the sensor on the car, which was supposed to make the car stop.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, didn't stop. It kind of fell out, and it was still in that like well that they have it in, but it was just hanging from there.
Hanging out.
Just hanging out, causing ruckus.
I know a guy who's got a podcast called Ruckus Juice.
That's interesting.
It's a very odd, but good. It's good. It's very good. I don't want to sound like I'm discouraging or disparaging the podcast. It's not. It's very good, but it's called Ruckus Juice, and it's this dude Jabo that I used to do a show with, and his buddy Igo, and they do this crazy. I don't know how to describe it. It's a discussion show like ours, but it's much more like off the deep end in a good way of like the weird topics in life. Like they go to this weird shit. Like, I had one where they went through all the lies Hulk Hogan's ever told. And like, cause he's told a lot of lies.
Okay.
He's in the industry of professional wrestling, he's a known liar. So
I mean, the WWE is pretty much a farce anyway in terms of
it's a performance. But what I'm saying is that
it's not real wrestling at the end of the day.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is he would say in real life he would say things that weren't what's known as kayfabe, like they weren't part of the stories for wrestling. He was legit like saying things and claiming real things that never happened and shit like that, so
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole list. They got a good hour and a half out. I mean, like, it was crazy. I remember listening to it. I was like, God damn.
Well,
anyway, causing a ruckus.
Yeah, so I had to take it to the dealer, and they just popped it back in. Good news is it costed me $0. And
it did. Okay, you had told me you were going back. I didn't heard that part. So.
Yeah, it costed me nothing, and I got a free tank of gas and
shit.
and a car wash.
That might be worth it, actually.
Like, thank you. Because my gas tank was at quarter tank when I brought it to you. So.
Yeah, free tank, basically a free whole tank of gas and a car wash. Yeah, I'll fucking take it.
And I had to pay nothing. So, I mean, that's a good day.
That's a very good day. It's a very good day. So, very well. Very well. Good job, Jules.
Yeah, all I had to do was
run into somebody. Oh, man. Well, not too much. Honestly, not too much going on this end of the world. Work, more work. I I joined. So obviously, you haven't had a need for one in quite some time, but there's dating apps out there. Like Cupid and Match and Bumble and all those different ones,
Right,
right?
yeah.
So,
They have
um,
ones for just friends, like
well, that's what I was
platonic.
just getting. That's what I was just getting to. There's one that
Okay.
Bumble has called
Yeah.
BFF, and
Yeah.
I actually am on that as well. And I'm actually connecting with with dudes, which is weird to say out loud, really. But like I am, making friends. But I set it up so that it says I'm already living in Arizona because that's where I'm going. And but I was hoping to maybe build some friendships between now and then, so that by the time I get there, I have some friends kind of like waiting for me. So I've been talking to, and there's a couple. You could also join groups, which
Okay.
I will tell you right now, the ratio of female groups, like female only groups, to male groups to mixed sex groups is like 3 to 1.
I can see that.
I
Yeah.
mean, yes, but I wish there were more like male groups.
I mean, I see why you would feel that way, but I'm saying, but here's what I'm thinking is like guys tend to not want to do that sort of thing, as in for friendships,
Fair,
as
fair.
much as females do. Like, there's not as much of a side eye when
Yeah, I
when
guess. I
girls
mean,
do
yeah,
it.
that's
Or if
probably
you're in
true.
a mixed sex group, right? Then it's
Which,
not
yeah,
weird at that
w-
point for a guy.
of of which there's not many mixed sex groups. Like, if I'm being honest, it's either all women or all
Well,
dudes, and that ratio is still like 3 to 1. So,
because there are
um,
still creepers out there either way.
of course there are, and I mean, but there's to be fair, there's creepers in some of these groups too, because you got
Well,
gay guys, you got bi guys, you got straight guys, you know. Like I'm not gonna. Well, no, I don't. I'm not gonna go there. But
go
yeah,
where?
no, I'm not
Depends on
doing
where
that.
you were gonna go.
I'm not going anywhere. But yeah. But yeah, so I'm trying to make some friends that way. Because I work from home, so when I get out there, I'm not going to be out often. Like out in the public world often. Because one of the things I don't enjoy is going out by myself. Like, I'm not a guy who's going to go and sit at the edge of sit at a bar and have a beer. You know what I mean? By myself. Like,
Right.
I don't have to be with a woman. I can be with another friend who's a dude if we all go together. Like, if your husband and I were living in the same state and he said, "Hey, you want to go get a beer?" I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go." You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go just randomly sit at the bar and have a beer,
And talk to yourself
and
like
talk
a
to myself. Right.
like a crazy
Well,
drunk.
well, right. Well, I mean, but see, like people have suggested, my therapist included, that I should try that and just randomly engage with other patrons that might be there by themselves. You know,
Yeah.
but I'm not good at that. I'm better at it when it's a guy. Like, and that sounds weird, but like there's no fear of rejection. Like, if a dude doesn't want to talk to me, it's like, all right, I don't care. Like, you know. But if a girl doesn't want to talk to me, it's kind of like, oh well, that sucks. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well,
you know,
it's easier for you to approach a guy because you're not trying to get his number.
or in his pants. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
So that's you're probably 100% right. Like, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So um it does make for tricky times, but it's also so awkward to just randomly turn to a dude and be like, yo. You know what I mean? Like, it might be
What's
easier, but
up?
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been in a position where I've interjected myself or introduced myself in some way, but it usually comes from hearing two other people have a conversation, and then you can kind of go, oh, well, if you don't mind me saying, I heard, I can contribute this to what you're talking about, and sometimes it's received, and sometimes it's like, what the fuck do you want?
Stop
But
eavesdropping on people's conversations, you freak.
yeah, right, exactly. So but but I'm trying to try to do that. But it's not as difficult of a navigation as dating. First off, it's nice that it's free because the dating sites cost
Oh, they
money,
can be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're not cheap. Like they're fairly
Yeah, I've
ridiculous.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I actually just got a new friend request by coincidence. I just got an alert on my phone. But yeah, because I'm in a couple of groups. So I joined a couple of groups. So I found a work from home group, like guys specifically for guys who work from home. So I thought that was kind of
Oh,
cool.
okay.
The downside to that is all of them seem to think it's a good idea to work in their underpants and show pictures of this. So that's kind of a weird thing to see.
Like on the site, like that's their profile pic is them in their
No,
underwear.
no. That's it. No, it's like a chat thread. They're just putting there's actually a chat thread within the group for like work from home outfits, and most of these dudes are in either underwear or like gym shorts.
I mean, gym shorts. I mean, nobody technically can see you on a Zoom call in your underwear, but I mean, to be posting pictures online is a little creepy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's not online like it's like on Facebook. You have to be accepted in this group to see it. But yeah, still.
I mean, still, they're people you don't actively know quite yet. Like
for sure.
Legit just met this person online, and you're like, wow, I can see your ball sack through your underwear. That's awesome.
Well, it hasn't been that bad, but yes. So but see, I can't do that work from home. Like I have to get dressed to some degree, even if you can't see more. Like what you're seeing on screen right now, because for those who may not know, if it's your first time listening to the Hamster Wheel, Julie and I are in different states, and we're on Teams having this conversation. So we're limited in what we can see. Or if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you're watching the video, you're seeing what we're seeing, but you're only seeing from roughly mid waist or mid chest up, if not even higher. So I theoretically could. I don't know if
that's because I'm short.
Well, that's. I mean, but I'm not exactly tall. So anyway, my point though is that like, even though I could get away with say wearing underwear or pajama pants or whatever, I can't do that and get into the mentality I need to be in to work, if that makes sense. Like I need to actually dress.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be wearing, in office work clothes, but like I get up every day, take a shower, shave, and put on at least like cargo pants, cargo shorts, or a pair of jeans. Because even if I was wearing like sweatpants, I don't think I'd be in the right mentality. Like, I can't wear cargo pants to my job, but at least I feel like I'm putting on like regular clothes, if that makes sense. I mean, they are regular clothes, but you know what I mean? Like I need that to be able to function for my job. Like I don't think I could.
Yeah, I get it.
There have been a handful of times. Like there was one day I when you work from home, you reevaluate sick days. You really do. And I don't mean like the amount that you get from your company. I'm talking about when you decide to use them.
Yeah.
Because I can fight through an illness here working from home a lot easier than if I was fighting through an illness sitting at a cube somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh, for sure, because you're in an outside environment, and also too, when you're at home, you can kind of take a little bit more breaks than you can when you're at actual work.
Right. So there was one day I was really not feeling well, but I thought I could get through the work day, but I also knew I wasn't going to have the energy to like go through my normal ritual. So I definitely threw on sweatpants like that day. But that's a rare thing that I'll do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I probably should have just taken that day off, because I have still taken sick days when I work from home, but I have to be like dying, Like
But does that mean that you're just not on camera, like on meetings, or does that mean that you're like just away from your desk completely, like you're lounging in bed?
A day, you mean?
Right.
And if I take a day, then I'm off. Yeah, like it would be the same as if I was in the building. Yeah.
Because I
Um,
know there are times where my husband will take a day off, but he's still like doing background stuff, like
oh well, I mean
because
that's I
he's
mean
like, deadlines. I still have to do deadlines. Like that doesn't change
yeah.
anything because I'm not on meetings or on calls or
Right,
something.
right. No, I if I'm logged in, I'm available for meetings, but my meetings aren't probably as consistent as your husband's. Like he probably has more.
Oh
My
yeah, he
meetings
goes
come
straight through pretty much.
my day my not my day, but like meetings come in clusters for me. So I'll have a bunch towards the beginning of the quarter, maybe a few in the middle, and then a few at the end, and then all the time in between. It's not to say there's never meetings, but they're random ones that are for things that aren't normal procedure things, if that makes sense. So like
Hmm.
there's huge chunks of time where I don't talk to anybody. Like
Yeah.
I've gone weeks without being on a meeting. Like whole, weeks upon weeks without having to communicate with anybody. So, you know,
Yeah, fair.
so it's, and I mean, you are seeing me, and eventually those who will be watching this on YouTube, I'm wearing a collared shirt today because I had a bunch of meetings today. So
Right.
it made more sense. But like on a day where I don't have a lot of meetings, I'll throw on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? And you can't see them because I have the background on, but I have what I call my Zoom shirts on the back of the chair I'm sitting in right now. So if I have a pop-up meeting that I'm not prepared, like I'm not normally expecting, I can throw one of those on,
Right, right.
pull up the camera, do my thing, and then take it off. But I can throw it on over the shirt that I'm wearing. Like I'm not doing a full change here. I can just throw it on over whatever I'm wearing, and then, because I used to wear just a t-shirt, and at first I didn't think it was a big deal because it was fine, just no one said anything, and then my boss finally called me one day. I didn't get in trouble, but she was like, "You might want to not do that when you know you're gonna have a meeting," and I was like, "Okay, whatever." So
Why?
she didn't
What
say
kind of t-shirt were you wearing?
no, nothing like overly inappropriate, but like just like
Uh,
a band T-shirt or one with like a slogan, but nothing like inappropriate. But just like she was.
so maybe because it was promoting a specific band or something.
No, I think it was just because it's not something you would wear into the building. Do you know what I mean? Like I would have never
Okay.
worn that to the building, if
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
go in. So,
Right.
and when I was going in, because there was a time I was going in, I actually wore even different clothes than when I wear even at home. Like when like you see me with this collared polo shirt on right now, but like when I went into the building, I used to wear a shirt with a tie every day. Wasn't a requirement. It was just what I felt was the right way to handle it. So I wore slacks with a shirt and a tie every day that I was in the building. You know.
Right.
So there's just different levels. But yeah, so anyway, we got way off topic there. And so I've been trying to meet people in that group, and then there's another group I found for gamers in Phoenix. So like I've been in that group trying to talk to people just because I am a big gamer. And then I was in a
Yeah.
group that was supposed to be like a mental health group for guys, like for guys to lean on guys, and
Okay.
which I thought would be a good group, and it turned out to be incredibly toxic to the point that I just left.
Oh, why? Like
Because
they were just not leaning on each
no, they were basically tearing each other down. It was bad. It was really bad. Like
other. Oh, wow.
you've heard your husband and myself and our other mutual friends like on our gaming chat. Maybe you're not hearing every word everyone's saying, but you've been around us all enough to know how we are, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that with actual intent.
Oh, like to be mean kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
not just ribbing in good fun ribbing.
Or just talking shit to people aren't going to take it personally because they know you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it was bad. So I just fucking left. Like,
Are you sure you weren't in a PTA group?
we'll get to that, I guess. But the thing that was, I guess, it was really interesting is like that was rule like number one or number two. Like these groups make you agree to their rules. Facebook's groups have something similar to that, or a lot of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. And these had rules, and the first rule was like, do not be toxic to each other. And I'm reading this thread, and I'm like,
I feel
what?
like maybe you need to have more specific like guidelines on what does toxicity mean to you, because
No, I mean,
clearly
no,
everybody has a different definition.
right? No, it basically said don't tear each other down, and this one dude these couple dudes were just tearing everybody down. But like, the thing that I found interesting is when someone else said, "Hey, moderators, are you watching this?" That guy got jumped on by like everybody. So it was just like,
Interesting.
yeah. So I said, "Fuck that," and just left.
Isn't there a way to like report somebody like anonymously?
Oh yeah, of course there is, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I also don't know how effective that is with this program. So I just thought it was easier to extricate myself from the situation.
Yeah,
I didn't
I was just curious.
Yeah, there is, and I didn't make a big deal out of it in the sense that like I've seen this with Facebook groups I've been in, and I never understood why people do it. I did it once to be but I did it to be a troll, not because I was like, you know what I mean? Like I did it on purpose.
At least you were owning it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll own it. But like people will be like, this group isn't what it says it is. Fuck it, I'm out of here. And then they will leave the group.
Yeah.
But like what they don't see is that what everyone says about that person after they've left the group. Like you
Well,
you know what I mean? Like it defeats the purpose of just being like, like I don't understand the purpose of announcing you're leaving a group and then just leaving it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like I did it the one time specifically to troll the people that were pissing me off because I didn't actually give a shit what they said about me after the fact. But you know what I mean? But like in general, I'll just if I'm not, I'll just walk away. But
yes, you're good at ghosting. We know this.
Okay. I need a drink.
So do I. What do you got?
Yeah, I got something new I thought I would try.
Yeah.
So on the last not the last recording, the one before it, I talked about I got that Four Hands Brewery, which is from the area. It's a local brewery, and they had that stout, which it wasn't half bad. And I was going to get more of it, and I saw that the same brand had a different stout. I'd got more of the other one too in case this is awful, but they also had another one. It is called Fat Elvis: The Absence of Light, and it's a peanut butter chocolate banana milk stout.
That's a lot of words.
It is, and you can smell it as soon as I open that. You heard me open it. I can smell the all those flavors. It was really strong. All right.
Well then, there
you
you
got
go.
some? You got some over there?
I have a glass of wine. This is going to be my glass every time I drink anything.
Even if you're drinking beer, you're going to drink out of that glass?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not? I mean, it's big enough. You can drink beer
I guess.
out of it.
I mean, it looks like a standardized wine glass to me, so standard size wine glass.
I mean, if you look in comparison to my hand.
Well, you've got small hands, though.
Wow. Okay, that's where we're going with that. All right.
That wasn't meant to be.
I'm not a dude, so it doesn't apply here.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, here you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ting, ting. Yeah. Let's see how this is. Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I already knew what this was because.
Hey, what are you drinking? You never said. You never actually said what it was.
It's called. I'm gonna butcher the name, unfortunately. It's Caramar or Caramer. Red Cabernet. It's a red Cabernet.
Yep.
Sauvignon.
That'd be a good cab. I'll admit. Yeah.
It's so we got it at I don't know if you're familiar with Cooper's Hawk.
No. I think I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it really.
Yeah, it's like a wine and restaurant kind of place. They have their own vineyards, not here, but they have their own vineyards.
Yeah, I think I've heard. That's what I said. I think I've heard of it for sure.
Yeah, and so they have like a membership you can get there, where you get free monthly tastings, and then you get, I don't know how many bottles of wine per month.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's like a subscription service. If you
Right,
said that, I
right.
missed it. I apologize, but
yeah. Well, I said it was a membership, so it's just, I guess it's same idea.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we we don't drink that much. Like we
Not
don't
like you
drink.
used to.
No.
I
But
used to have a picture of your husband with your oldest daughter in his lap with an empty wine bottle doing this.
yeah, right. They do drive you to drink.
Which I think was the point. And he didn't actually drink the whole bottle. We had poured it out for everybody for dinner, and he did it for the comedic purpose of the picture. But
yeah. So it was one of the wines we had tasted because, I mean, they give you a nice, like I'm sure you've been to wine tastings before, right?
No, actually, I haven't. I've only been to beer tastings, believe it or not. So
really, okay.
Yeah.
So when you typically, like, I've gone to a couple of them. So when you typically go to a wine tasting, theoretically speaking, you're supposed to like take a sip, and then you don't necessarily always drink it.
You spit it back out into like
Right,
a spittoon type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
I
here.
will
They're
just-
like basically wine flights,
I will tell you
but
right now,
like mini glasses of wine
that's
flights.
what beer tastings are right now. I'll tell you
Right.
that right now. You're not spitting that shit out.
No. So that's what they do there.
I actually, real quick, I still have it because it's got some sentimental value to me because it was my first time. I'm not trying to get away from your story, but just quickly, it was the only time my middle brother and my sister-in-law ever hung out without like the whole family. Like it was the only time not only now, but at the time, it was the only time they had called me and said, "Hey, why don't you come hang out while you're out here visiting the family in Vegas?" And we went to this beer tasting, and they gave us they gave you a flight glass, and you would just go around with the flight glass, drink it, and then like refill it at whatever next stage you wanted to try.
Yeah.
But you also got to keep it. It's a glass. It's a nice glass, and you got to keep it. It's part of your, because you paid to get in, and it wasn't ridiculous. I want to say it was like $25 a person. It wasn't bad, and they gave you like finger food snack, like bar food snack styles. Like it wasn't like sandwiches, but like you know what I mean. Like actually, I think there were like sliders, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's not like a meal. And then you got to go around and drink as much of the beers you wanted. Out of this little flight class. So, yeah, I got pretty wrecked. I mean, I did. It would suck because I had to be up at like 4 a.m. to get on a plane to come home to Jersey at the time. But it was just like, whatever. But yeah, but the point is I still have the flight glass. Like, it was a nice glass. I still have it. It's actually... And
Did
I
you
didn't
steal
know,
it, or they give it to you?
They give it to you. It's part.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of your. It's part of the money you pay for.
I was like, you just walk out with a little mini beer cup or beer.
No
glass.
one would give a shit in Vegas. Trust me. Nobody would.
I mean,
give
I'm
a
sure not,
fuck.
but I just find it funny. I'm like, that's real class right there. You just walked out with.
Right? No. It's
you gonna steal the silverware and the sugar shakers next to?
Anyway, no, but no, it was, we had a friend who did do that. Do you remember the guy who used to know to work at Chili's?
Vaguely.
His name began with a D. That's as close as I'm going to get to saying his name. You met him.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm piecing it together once you said that.
It's been a long time, and it was right around the time you and I first met. So, like, you would have met him. So, he did that. He cleaned off an entire table once. The salt, the pepper, the chicken paper, the ketchup, the mud, the whole fucking thing. Just took the whole goddamn table with us.
Wow. I think I remember that story being reiterated at some.
I believe your husband was there for it. That's why.
Probably, yeah.
That individual was moving out of New Jersey, and it was the going away event we threw for him that he did it at. So and I'm pretty sure your husband and one of our other mutual friends was there. So
he's like, fuck it, they're not gonna come after me.
Oh, he wouldn't have cared even he wouldn't have cared even if he'd stayed. Trust me, that guy didn't give a shit.
No, he didn't. But
in any event, but no, but I saw, I still have it. So it's cool that I still have that. I keep it more for the sentimental. I have not used it for anything because it's really like if I really wanted it, it would work as like I guess it would be like a triple shot glass because it's, it's probably about the size of a triple or even a quadruple shot glass. So if I really wanted to like do it that way, I could. But yeah. Anyway, the wine so. you were talking about the wine.
Yeah. So we had gone to a wine tasting and anyway, we had a ton of wine bottles that we hadn't picked up. I will let you guess how many wine bottles we skipped out on picking up.
Picking up meaning like not buying?
No, like so the membership grants you X amount of bottles per month.
Oh, you have to go get them though from the.
You have to go
place?
get them. So like typically what you would do is you would do the wine tasting and then you could pick your bottles from the tasting, right?
Right.
And so, like, because they give you a ridiculous amount. I think you pick they give you in the tasting like 9 different wines to taste. And because there's 2 of us, like we each get 9 wines.
Oh Jesus, really?
Right.
That's like, we'll say for math, that's 20 bottles of wine right there. Like that's a lot of wine.
Well, you're tasting it to pick I want to say per month you get maybe 4 bottles of wine per month or something.
That's still a lot of wine now.
It's a lot of wine, but I mean, if you're throwing parties or you're
sure.
You drink a cup of wine with dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. But
mainline it, whatever.
Yeah, but we hadn't been there in some time.
And they were like, "Are you gonna take these things or what?"
Oh, they don't care. I mean, you're paying for the membership, right? So it's
true.
No skin off their back. I mean, it's not a ridiculous amount per month, but it's like, if you're not going to use it, probably don't necessarily need it. But because of that, guess how many bottles of wine we wound up actually racking up for pickup. And we didn't pick up all of them because
from the tasting, or
no, from like the amount of months that we hadn't been there to collect our wine bottles.
You get 4 a month, you said?
I think that's what it is.
I'm gonna say like 30.
It was 60 bottles of wine that we
Jesus
because we were thinking, oh, we have like maybe 30 bottles of wine, like it's not. And so we asked like the question, like, hey, how many bottles of wine am I in, backed up? And the guy's like, yeah, here's your number. He wrote it down. He's like, I'm not saying this out loud. He's like, listen, you don't have to take them all today. If you can come back for the rest another time.
That's crazy.
So I think we wound up getting like, I don't know, some like 30 or 40 of them.
That's still a lot of wine.
Yeah, it is. So
I got introduced to Josh.
Josh?
It's a brand of wine.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing
And
the
yeah.
commercial.
Yeah, I haven't seen any commercials, but mom and her partner who just recently passed were
Yeah.
fans of
I'm
were
sorry
fan
about that.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's doing well though. But they were big fans of Josh, and so I tried. Josh has a hearth Cabernet, to your Cabernet point,
Mm.
and that was pretty damn good. I have to admit that was it was pretty tasty. So I also tried Tattooed Girl, was another wine that I tried recently. Um I've tried two of the Tattooed Girl is the brand, not the flavor. I tried their Riesling, which was really good. Enjoyed that
Mm.
quite a bit. And then I also tried their red blend, and I did not enjoy that as much. So I
Hmm.
would probably not go back to them for my reds, but if I wanted another white, I would probably go back to Tattooed Girl for the white and try that again. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but I say we're both drinking here because you had a very interesting 10 days or so about a group. Speaking of groups, when I was talking about the groups on this online shit I'm doing, you're part of a real life group that kind of went haywire from what you were alluding to. You refrained from giving me details specifically to talk about it here. So the floor is yours, madam.
Madam Presidente.
Well, I was about to use your last name and then realized you don't want that. It wasn't going to be on purpose, but I was going to. But then I realized. So yeah.
Mm. You can just call me Madam President. I'm not the president yet, or hopefully ever again, but we'll see. Um,
Uh,
it's where do we start this conversation?
well, if I could interlude for a second, you had talked about some of your adventures with this same group in a previous recording. So,
Well, this is a different group.
but
Well,
it's the same. It's the same.
actually, no, you're right. I did talk about this group a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. The bulk of the story was
Yes,
the
yes.
previous group, but it's
Right.
the same organization, if you will. It's just a different group from the same.
Yeah, it's a different chapter, different school. But yeah. Same shit, different frowny faces.
Same shit, different district.
Right. Well, same district, just
I know.
anyway.
It just sounded good.
Obviously, when I got to this group that I'm about to discuss, I was already fairly jaded from
Just in case someone didn't hear the last episode where this was talked about, why don't you at least say what the overall thing is?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I guess that's a fantastic place to start because we all start in kindergarten, right?
Well, I'm not saying you have to get into that
But-
group story, but just tell people what you're referring to, because you're being rather cryptic here. I understand not saying names, but you can
No,
please
yeah.
say the name of it.
So I had joined my children's PTA, which actually I'm referring to it as a PTA, but it has a different acronym, but it'll be pretty obvious if I say that other acronym, if it makes sense.
It does. I didn't realize.
Yeah. So, okay. So there are PTAs, PTOs,
Time
and
off.
parent teacher organization.
Oh.
And then there are PTSAs, which is parent teacher student association.
Ah.
Right? So, and the difference between all of those things are that in the PTA realm it's basically just parents and teachers collaborating for the benefit of the school.
Supposedly.
Right, supposedly. And in the PTSA, the students should have a voice in
Allegedly.
So you would have like student reps that would sit in on your meetings if you were doing it by the book, right?
Right.
I can tell you that very rarely has that ever happened.
Yeah, I would imagine. That doesn't surprise me.
And honestly, not till in the elementary school, not until I took on the presidency role there, did we even have like any children attend our meetings.
I would imagine at the elementary level, though, it's hard to incorporate the students, right? Like, I mean, that's got to
Well,
be.
elementary goes all the way up to like 5th grade. So, I mean, 5th graders are pretty.
Yeah.
4th and 5th grade, even 3rd graders. I mean, 3rd graders are eligible to do student government at that age.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I would assume that
I retract my objection.
I don't know why you would be objecting anyway. You don't have any kids that are being forced into child politics.
I need to be able to contribute to this conversation in some capacity. I mean, come on.
No one's forcing you to join PTA.
No, but I mean, I still need to be able to add to this in some way.
Like, there's nothing to object here, CJ. Wait a minute, you'll be able to object later. I'm sure you will.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so I mean, not that it was done in properly until I got there. I don't want to be that person because that's not true. It's just the group that came before just didn't have, like you said, they didn't have a way to incorporate the students into what they were doing. But at the same time, everything they did was to benefit those students.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. They did.
Okay.
I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due, even though, they're a bunch of bitches. How
do you really feel, Jules?
They still cared enough about the students to get them to programs and things that were meaningful to them, and that was, and that they had fun, because ultimately, here's the thing, like, it's even in elementary school, like, kids work their ass off. They really do, because when you think about it, they have like testing as early as kindergarten now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like it. I mean, it's crazy how much the like state testing and like teachers are teaching for that test.
Oh, I know.
Before they've even gotten to a point where they're going to take it, because they want them to be used to taking tests.
No, I
so
know.
That they don't have test anxiety over it.
I know a teacher who retired early because she said, we don't teach anymore. We just prep for this test. Like, you're not actually learning anything. You're just preparing on how to take a test. And that's not what she signed up for when she decided to be a teacher. So
no, nobody does. So, I mean, you have like kids that young taking tests. So it's like, after a while, there is going to be burnout if you don't have more fun things that are catered to them actually being kids. At some level.
I don't know why people got rid of dodgeball. I'm just saying.
Survival of the fittest, man.
This is dangerously good, by the way.
Oh, enjoy it. I'm glad you like it. I like mine. I need to drink more for this.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But yeah, so they were doing a lot of things for the kids. There were a lot of programs for the kids to do.
Right.
And that was fun. Like they enjoyed doing them. And still was educational at some
Okay.
level.
Okay.
So it wasn't completely like,
Let's just goof off for however long.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's just a brain break from like, taking a test.
Yeah.
But to that point, when I took it on, I said, hey, there has to be a way for us to incorporate students into, even if it's not like our regular board meetings, right? At least some sort of like student representation that they can at least see like how does this work? How does this organization work? How does
Right.
and I said, because they do have like student council at the schools. So,
Fair.
The kids who maybe may get to, like, they ran for president and they just lost, or they ran for whatever office and they didn't get it, maybe they'd be willing to want to come and, be part of this.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I asked around. Nobody wanted.
I don't want to do this.
So what I did was, for our like general meetings, which are open to like the entire membership, not just board meetings, I said, hey, let's give some kids who are part of like the PTA, let's give them like a hall pass. Like, hey, if you get really good grades and you're well behaved in class and whatever, and you're a PTA member, maybe you can come to our meetings, like take the morning off and come to the meeting. That's in the cafeteria. And
Gotcha.
and the principal signed off on it. She's like, that's a fantastic idea because it gets them out of class and it gets them engaged with something that's literally for them.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, you need the students to be engaged, and I agree with that. I
mean, none of them asked any questions or
did they seem? I guess the question though is, did they seem to be like, why are we here? Like that's, I guess, the $1,000,000 question, right?
They were just happy they got to get out of class, and it wasn't.
That's exactly, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the main event right there, and then we had like refreshments being served, like cookies and stuff. So they're like, we get free cookies and we get to sit there and watch our parents talk about PTA, and we don't have to do work. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's true. Yeah.
that's it. That's all that happened. Now, whether they carried that when I left, I don't know, but they got it for 1 year, so
There
that
you
was
go.
fun. Yeah. So, but because I had been bullied that whole year by certain board members, which is also why I didn't run for re-election. I was like, yeah, somebody else can have it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Checking out, please. Thank you.
But I did make some good friends out of that also.
One of whom
because
listens, if I recall. I'm not going to name
yes,
names, but
right, yes, one of them does listen.
Sorry.
Actually, like that's one of the funniest stories is because these girls had me at like the first meeting. Like literally, we run elections in May because school ends in like the first week of June typically, right?
Okay.
And so we run elections in May, and then by July 1st, theoretically, the new board takes their appointed spot, right? And so
Wait, you work through
legitimately,
the summer? That's a shit job. I mean, what is this shit?
you work for the, yeah, because you have to like prep a welcome back breakfast for like teachers and get them to want to, be
Be
members.
there?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you want them to be members of your organization because PTA is a standalone. It's not a derivative of the school. It's not part of the
Right.
school.
Right.
It's not like a booster club or whatever they have at schools. It's like its own organization that just works to benefit the school and the community around that school, right?
Right.
So ultimately, you prep as soon as like you do like orientations, you do all kinds of like back to school stuff. So you need that time to prep. So ultimately, our first official board meeting happened at my house. So I invited these people, and remember, this was like 2021. So like there were still COVID guidelines and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like I'm taking a risk letting you people into my house, and from jump, literally everything I said was an attack at me.
Wow. Get the fuck out of my house. Like,
Right. I'm like, you do realize I can tell you to fuck off now, right? Like I
I mean, like it would stop you before, Jules. I mean, really.
but I'm just like, what? And so and there were a couple of them that were one of them was not new to the board. She was reelected in the same position, but mainly because nobody wanted it. Let's be honest. But this friend that I'm referring to, with whom I still speak to, she was new. She had never done PTA ever. Like this was her first show, right? And I'm realizing like as this is all happening in front of her face, like she's probably like, I don't want to be part of this toxic fucking group. What the hell?
Right? I mean, that.
Like, if they can bully the president, what the fuck are they going to do to me?
Right?
And in her own house, it's not even like like she's got home court advantage, and you guys are still being assholes.
I'm surprised. To be fair, if I could quickly, because I want you to get to the modern part of things too, because that's the point more I feel like. But is I'm surprised. Your husband's a very passive guy by nature, but he's also very defensive of his family, as you should be, right? Like I'm not
Oh,
finding
yeah.
fault with that in any way. And if he kept his mouth shut, I'm pretty impressed, if I'm being honest.
Well, he was in the next room playing his game with his earphones on
So
because
he didn't hear a lot of it.
he
Yeah.
didn't hear it because he was kind of like trying to stay out of the way kind of
Well,
thing.
yeah,
Like,
that makes sense. Sure. Yeah.
yeah. So he's like, I'm treating this like I would treat, me being at work if the tables were turned, like I'd rather you not interrupt my work kind of thing.
In that vein, I hope he wasn't his normal self when it came to playing games, because I know how he
No,
can
he was very quiet, oddly. So I don't know. So I mean, just to put it into perspective for you, I was assuming that it would be like an hour meeting tops.
3.
It was 3-hour meeting.
I really guessed. That was a pure guess. Like,
yeah, not because I was having, any part of like having any discussion. It was legit. These people were on me about like, because I had shown them mock-ups of the t-shirts that we were going to sell, and for 3 hours they were complaining about the color of the t-shirt. I'm not even joking with this.
I don't think you are.
I'm like, is somebody gonna die because the shirt's red instead of green? I'm not sure that that's true.
Yeah, no, people are going to die.
Like,
red cars getting in more accidents than any other color. I'm just saying. So.
That's not true. My car's green.
Nicely played, Jules. Nicely played.
But anyway, just green is more soothing, so when it hits you, it doesn't
affect you as much.
It doesn't hurt as bad. Yeah, so I actually after that meeting, I had called her up. I had called all of them, but even the troublemakers. But I had called her up because I said, I realize that this is not the best introduction into an organization that's supposed to be for families and children. And so in that moment, she kind of said to me, she was like, I went home and I told my husband I am quitting tomorrow. And he basically said, you do what you need to do because you don't need toxicity in your life. Then when I called her and she kind of we talked through things, and she said, listen, honestly, I'm going to stay on because you need as many people in your corner going to bat for you as you can have, because she's like, it was 3 against 1, and there were only 2 of us who were not part of that group.
Yeah, I guess that's a very good quick question for those of us who are not as versed in this. How big is a typical board, would you say? Is it well, let me ask an additional question. Is there a standard size for a PTA board? And if so, what is it? If not, then what was yours, I guess?
So typically you would have, I would say 5 to 7. So you always want to have an odd number of...
Right, for the votes. That way there's no ties. I get you.
Yes, yeah. Right. But in a standard like PTA setup, there are only 3 top positions that if you do not have somebody to fill them, you have no PTA, regardless of what other positions have been filled.
Gotcha.
which is the president, the recording secretary, and the treasurer. You need all
Yeah,
three of those.
They seem fairly important in the grand
Right.
scheme of things.
Right. Because at the end of the day, your president is the person who runs the show, but also that that is the checks and balances for the treasurer as far as an accounting standpoint, or
Right.
even taxes, IRS, all of that is like, I mean, you get into legal shit at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Can you get any of these women on tax fraud? Maybe that's your way your way around this thing. I don't
No,
know.
no. No, actually my treasurer at the time was one of the bullies. She was super by the book. That was the one thing that I was like, you know what? She does her job. She does it meticulously. She's very tenacious when it comes to that,
Right.
which I appreciated because, now, was it a little annoying at times? Yes. But it was, at least I knew that we weren't going to get audited because...
Right, there wasn't going to be a big problem. Yeah.
Right. But and also too, people don't also realize, recording secretary notes, they become a legal document.
Yeah.
So you can't screw around with those. So those three positions, you can't screw around with them. Because if the IRS and those three positions are on the bank account for that purpose,
Gotcha.
is because, right? Because at one point, at some level, what if your treasurer gets pissed at your president and then they go over and they're like, I want to take her off of the bank account, and then she starts stealing cash and pins it on her, right?
Right.
Then, you have to have a third person to be like, nah, that's not cool.
Right.
Can't do that.
Right.
So, odd number. I mean, not that it mattered, because both my treasurer, recording secretary, and one of my VPs at the time were all against me in that meeting. So them's the breaks, I guess, in that scenario. Right. But to your point, yes, the hubby was very much
after the fact, I'm sure he was pissed off as fuck when you told him.
Yes, but also he kind of was like, you can leave at any time.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You can, if it gets to a point where it's really not worth it, he's like, just fucking leave.
I agree. Yeah.
You're not making money out of
it. Despite all the IRS implications and everything, it's a volunteer position. You don't get paid for that shit, right? That's not. Yeah.
No, it's a completely voluntary, and at some level, you're putting yourself at personal risk, because you're putting trust into those other people who hold the same cards as you do in those positions. So you're putting trust in them that they're not going to do something malicious or illegal.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so, because at the end of the day, if we get audited, it's not just the treasurer who gets audited, it's the whole board. My name's on there too.
Yeah, but it's not your personal finances, right? It's just the board.
No, it's the organization's finances. But because your name is on for that fiscal year, if
It still falls on
IRS
your shoulders. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if the IRS decides to come after you, they come after all three of you. They don't just come after one person. So,
Right.
yeah. It's not like, oh, you were the treasurer, you should have, it's all your fault. You're the only one going to jail. Like,
Yeah.
everyone goes. There is no get out of jail free card.
As someone said to me just recently about something completely non-related and certainly not a jailable offense, but it's a great line from a movie that I love, and it's somebody has to go to jail, Ben. So do you know the reference or no?
I don't.
It's National Treasure.
Oh wait, yes.
I
remember that now.
When he meets with the FBI guy and he's like, I would really like not to go to jail, and he's like, well, somebody's got to go to jail, Ben. And my friend uses that line when someone's going to be in trouble. Not necessarily go to jail, but if someone's going to be in trouble, that's the line she throws at me. She's like, someone's got to go to jail, Ben. So it's
nice.
But
that's a good movie.
It's a great movie. I like both of them. I think the third one's finally being made. I'm very excited. The series was pretty good too, but they weren't as good as the movies, but they were pretty good.
But no. So I will say this. So when in the previous recording, I discussed how one of my bullies was a friend of mine, and she wasn't part of this meeting, this initial first meeting, because she was no longer on that part of the board.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense, because what you have is you have like an executive board, which are all voted in positions. Those are positions that you're elected into, and then you have committee chairs who are appointed by the president. She happened to sit on a committee chair at that point because I appointed her to probably actually a couple of them. Because she was the former president before me.
Right.
And so she actually one day, because I had for around May, I had gotten COVID, and I was like laid out in bed. Like there was not I couldn't talk. Like there was no words coming out of my mouth. Like it was like, I mean, if you wanted to silence me, you just give me COVID. That was how you do it, because I couldn't speak. I had no breath to even like get actual words out. Like, and so therefore I had no true voice. And so I was running events from bed, literally. On my phone, I was just chatting with people or emailing or whatever needed to be done. And she got on the chat and basically said, I don't understand why you're not here because I didn't tell anybody I was sick. I just said I'm unavailable. I can't host meetings because I can't talk. But I didn't want, like, it's none of anybody's business what I'm sick with or why I'm not.
I think when I would argue that when you're president, maybe that's not so true, but that's maybe a different discussion for a different time. I'm curious, Jules, and I don't mean to speed, but like, how does that tie to what happened more recently? Like,
well, because I'm speaking to the fact that you said my husband's very defensive, and I will say, so she got on chats and was basically berating me and saying you suck at life, basically. And I had basically just said, I'm sure that you didn't mean it to sound as rude. Right. I was more diplomatic, but as harsh as it sounded, but I'm going to remind you to pay attention to your tone within these chats, right? And so she basically got fired up and called me.
Oh no.
And I pressed silence, called me again, silence, called me again. And I'm like, what the fuck? This bitch will not stop calling me. So I finally answer her, and she's on the phone screaming and yelling and screaming and yelling and having like a freaking mini aneurysm. And I'm sitting in bed like I can't even get a word out because I can't even talk.
Right.
And so my husband comes into the room, hears this, because she was on speakerphone, because I couldn't even hold it up to my ear.
Right.
So she was on speakerphone because that was all I could. I'm like, at that point I was like, let this bitch fucking yell and rant and rave. I couldn't give a shit because I'm basically lying in bed dying right now.
Right.
So he comes in, hears this, and he turns to her and he's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. You need to shut the hell up and don't talk to her like that. And she's like, well, did you hear what she said to me? He was like, no, I'm pretty sure I couldn't hear anything she was saying because she is sick in bed with COVID. She can't talk. Did you not notice that no one was answering you? And and so she was like, well, I didn't know she was sick. And he was like, doesn't matter. You don't fucking talk to people like that, even if they feel just fine. What is wrong with you? He's like, how about have a nice day? And he hung up on her. And
Nice.
that was it. He was like, and he turned to me. He was like, why did you even fucking answer the phone? I'm like, she kept calling. He's like, block her ass.
That's my vote. But yeah, I mean, with you having to be the president, I don't think you can do that. But I get his point nonetheless.
Right.
As if that wasn't enough drama, though. You said that there was something that happened with the current group that you're involved with.
So to segue, I had already been basically, because of that, very jaded from joining other groups. So when my daughter stepped up to the next school phase, so she went on to middle school. I was concerned for her because it was a new school, and I was, kind of mama bearish, I guess, because she had a lot of shit go on, that past year. She had her grandfather die, she had her cats die, she had, her mom basically have really serious, significant health issues. And I can tell you, when I had gotten COVID, because that's what my father-in-law passed away from, the kids were petrified. Like,
yeah. I mean, without getting into specifics, he was in a much more vulnerable state to COVID than you probably were. But
I mean, yes and no.
Well, yeah, again, without trying to get into specifics, he had some specific breathing problems prior to COVID even hitting him that probably didn't help. Is all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying he deserved it or anything, but I'm just saying, like,
no. But it was a lot, and so I kind of got into that PTA because I wanted to have the access to the school so that I knew what was going on with her. while I was there, and so that she felt like my presence was there, if that makes sense.
Mama's got my back.
Right, exactly. And also she had been kind of bullied that whole year as well, but she didn't want to say anything to me because she felt like I had a lot on my plate. So all around, I just said, you know what? I'm going to go get into the PTA there. I don't have to do what I do here,
Right, right.
but I want to be able to like go, and if she needs me, I'm there. And that was my whole focus. And honestly, when I went, I felt like this group was a lot more like low key. Like I didn't have to feel bad if I didn't show up, or I didn't have to feel like I wasn't doing enough because I didn't, do certain things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just kind of said, you know what? It's a low key effort, and they seemed very welcoming and very nice in the very beginning.
Oh
Right?
no. Oh no.
And then I'm not sure what happened, but at the end, I want to say once my son was in, yeah, when he started, which was last year, it seemed like they were kind of a little standoffish, a little
Okay.
like, oh, like there was a little bit of ignoring me kind of behavior. And
Right.
to me, honestly, to me, at that point, I didn't care because at least no one was, calling me out in chats for some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
No one was calling me on my deathbed and reaming me a new asshole for no reason. So just because I told them they were acting like an asshole. That was last year. This year, I haven't been showing up the same way at all because, my daughter's now in high school, which I don't show up there either.
But your son's still in that school, if I'm
And
right,
my
right?
son's still in that school,
Yeah.
but you know, I just I figured, you know what, if you're gonna
He can handle himself. Fuck it. Like,
I mean, he actually can.
oh,
It's
I
not
believe it.
even that. Like he had 1 year with her, and you know, now he's just kind of like, just pick me up. I don't care. Let's go. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a care in the world that way, you know? But yeah, this year it was just kind of, I just wasn't there.
Fair.
Yeah. But but I had made friends with one of the ladies there,
Okay.
and they had been bullying her.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
And I'm not going to say which position specifically because this will
Probably a good
obviously,
idea. Yeah.
yeah. But she does hold one of the power 3 positions.
Okay. That's probably. I'm not cutting you off, but that's a fair way to at least narrow it down. So we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for her, when she had taken on this position, she didn't know what she was getting her ass into.
Right.
Like, I knew, but she unfortunately did not. She figured, oh, I'll do what what they tell me to do, because I don't know how, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, right? And so when we were talking, and she said to me, she was like, they they've been kind of they've been kind of nasty to me, and I don't know what I did to them to make them treat me like that. And I said, sometimes you don't need to do anything. People are just assholes because they can be, and they are, and that's it. And unfortunately, when you're a good person who's trying to do the right thing, and when you learn that maybe what you were doing wasn't the right way to do things, and then you've learned how to do it the right way, and you speak up, people don't want to change their behavior. So
I find people don't want to change, period, typically. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about. I mean, you're not wrong with what you said. I'm just saying it's I find that people don't typically like to change very often.
No, but I mean, at some level, if this is something that could kind of get you into trouble. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe take some suggestions. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Right. Like, and truly, she's not the first person I heard say that they were very cold and unwelcoming and kind of nasty. I mean,
your friend. You wait, because I think I've been paying attention, but I think I lost something somewhere. I think I got lost somewhere. So, look, can I just recap for a minute? Is your friend the one that's being cold, or is it someone else being that way?
No, the other ladies in the.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure that I hadn't lost. I didn't get a throat cross somewhere.
Yeah, because I had, like I said, I had made
we're
friends.
We're also dealing with a lot of people that we're not naming by name on purpose, but like
right.
it does make it tricky to keep track.
Yeah.
Of who's
So
doing
if you're confused, just tell me. I'll find a way to make it less confusing.
And you did just now, but I'm saying just for the sake of both myself and the audience, like
right.
I feel like I need like a baseball score sheet here where I can keep track.
Yeah, you need like a PowerPoint presentation.
Something is
the whiteboard.
Right. I'm making shit up, but like the treasurer hit a triple and turned into an asshole. Like, like I need like that whole, whatever. Like I'm not even saying that's who it was, but I'm just I need that like lineup card.
For real. But yeah, so she was me speaking.
Me speak good like.
She's not the only one who has had that sentiment about this group. And I recall also, like, in like county chats, like it's not even just like the school. You're talking about the entire county. There were like meetings and chats that I had been in where they had said that this particular PTA had been, doing things not super on the up and up, and that their elections were rigged. And
that's where I want to jump in for a minute, right? Because the perspective that I can bring to this, right, as a single male who's never had children, shy of the 6 months that I was kind of a stepdad that didn't get involved with any of the stuff, not because I necessarily didn't want to. I just was never really giving an opportunity. But not really the point is, I've always the things like the PTA always came across. Even I can remember even being back when I was in. No, I went to. I guess technically I went to private school from like fifth or third grade on, but one was a private school from third to eighth, and then from high school was a Catholic school, which is I guess still more private. But I think there's a PTA for that group. I could be wrong.
For which school?
Catholic school. Um,
Oh, I'm sure there was. Yeah.
I don't know if there was one for the private school. There might have been, but I don't know. Anyway, I was just too young to really even get it if there was one, to be fair. But
well, my the hubby's mom had been on PTA, and he's gone to private schools his whole life. So
well, he went to Catholic schools all the way through. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm saying the one private school wasn't denominational, so it was a private school. So there may not have been one for that group. I don't know. Anyway, not really relevant. But for the most part, it's always come across as a popularity contest to me. Like, I know there's elections. I'm not saying there's not. I get that. But, like, it was not about who's the most qualified or effective to accomplish some of the things that you were talking about at the top of this conversation, like you were saying you did when you took over the 1 year, and overall it feels like it's either a popularity contest, or I hate to say it, it's one of those things where like you vote the unpopular person to be prom queen so you can laugh at her. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Versus, I'm not saying that about you, but I'm just saying in general. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
it felt like it, so.
I'm sure it did, but I didn't want you to think I was specifically talking about you. Like,
no, I know.
Yeah. But I've always felt like that's kind of what that is. Like there's not really enough. I mean, I could be wrong, but I didn't ever feel like there was a effective purpose besides like bake sales. I mean, like, I don't know.
But I think that's the trouble with how they're run, right? Is if you're running it the way it's supposed to be run, then it wouldn't just look like, oh, it's a bake sale kind of group, right? Like they would have more depth to them.
Right, but I guess that's kind of my argument, is that it feels like more of them are not run correctly than are.
Yes.
And I'm not even talking about in your area. I mean just like
in general. In general, right. Yeah. No, for sure.
Because I mean, real quick, not to pivot, but like your kids obviously went to school before you ended up in Florida.
One of them was in school, like, yeah.
Right.
The other two were in like preschool. It was
right. It wasn't like school. Yeah. But my point is, and I don't know how in tune you were with it, but like, was it more effective there than it was where you are now?
I don't know, because I never.
I mean, it's fair.
Because before here, I didn't really pay attention to the PTA there.
And that's a fair answer, and honestly, it's the one I expected. No offense, but
I kind of like, I knew that they existed in that school.
Well, sure.
And my my child had been in a classroom with, ironically, the PTA president. But she never clouded it as that. Does that make sense? She wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't the same scenario in which she just said, like, I just had said, hey, I know that you guys have room moms. How do I become a room mom so that I can come in? Because she was in kindergarten, and she had never been to.
Didn't she get all the way to second grade before you guys left? Is my math right on that?
She was in third grade when we left.
She was actually made it to third. I couldn't remember if she got that high up. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So we actually waited until school was over, and then we
I remember
moved.
that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
So that
I
way
just couldn't
she
re-
would.
I just couldn't remember what grade it was
Yeah.
that occurred in.
So yeah. So when because she was in kindergarten, I said I want to be able to come in and like make sure she's doing okay, because she's never been like, she didn't go to preschool. She didn't, it was like her first time in school at all. And so I just kind of said, hey, can I, if the teacher needs help with something,
Right, right.
can, and they had like, they had parties and stuff. So I'm like, can I come? So she was like, yeah, you can come in, and we'll do like, you can be like a room mom with me, and it'll be great to have like help with doing the parties and stuff for the kids. So I was like,
And
okay. But
and
there was
also, I mean,
never any mention of like, oh, do you want to join PTA? Because
right.
it never got that far, and I never really, I
Cared
didn't
towards it at all.
ask.
Yeah, right.
So,
So, all right. So, I mean, back to your adventures now. I was just curious because like I said, I can't. I jokingly said, but I also meant it. I can't bring a whole lot to this conversation. So, I mean, you know,
so yeah, I'm trying to remember where I left off now.
you were talking about the other person who was kind of shitty, and then there was in the greater picture, this PTA had a bad reputation.
Yes. So they had a bad rep to start with. So now it's kind of like I can see where they're getting their bad rep from, you know? And especially too because
I feel like I should interlude Joan Jett's bad reputation underneath this while you're talking. Like, seriously.
especially too because they had, on two separate occasions, I had gotten private messages, basically saying, hey, maybe you should bow out of your position.
Oh yes, this was funny. You told me about.
Right. And I was like, wait, what position? Like, you appointed me. If you want me out, just kick me out. Like, I don't know why.
I will go. Like, you're not.
I mean, I don't need to be on standby for anything. Like, for sure. Um, but when my friend had called me and said, I I mean, she was having like really bad anxiety about going to board meetings.
Mm.
That's how, and I was like, oh shit, I remember those days.
Yeah, that's not a healthy feeling, I'm sure.
No, like that's the tantamount to you going to the doctors every time and being worried that he's going to tell you have cancer. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
No, absolutely, yeah.
that's the kind of stress that invokes, is like the fear of not knowing what the hell is going to happen to you when you're there. You're like, what the hell? But so I said to her, I was like, listen, I will make it to whatever meetings or events that you need me to come to, just so you have somebody to support you when you're there. And so that's kind of what happened. And I started asking her questions, and as I'm asking her questions, it becomes apparent that they're not doing
Anything?
no, they're not doing anything right, as far as like, I mean, even the bank accounts.
Oh
And I
dear.
was, yeah, and I kind of said to her, I was like, you do realize that you're part of those that top 3, right? If you get audited, that's not just their name, it's your name on there.
That's your ass.
Like, you get that, right? Like, it's and she was like, I didn't even know that was wrong in the first place. I was like, aren't you glad you got to be friends with me, because I will tell you what's up. Like, I will tell you when you're getting your ass into hot water, and I will give you a hand to pull you out, but at the end of the day, you need to get your ass out the hot water. Like, as it turns out, because as I had said, there were other people who had said that they didn't particularly love the way they had run this PTA. And these are members. These are people who paid membership fees.
There's membership fees to this shit?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Think of it like a sorority or a fraternity.
So if you're elected, I have to ask. It's a legit question now. If you get elected to a position, whether it be board or otherwise, right? Like, do you still pay those fees? Do you still pay those fees and dues?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, you're required to pay those fees because you hold said position.
So not only are you not getting paid to do it, but you're paying to do it and get bullied. That seems like a lot of fun. Let me sign up for that shit.
Right?
I also have to ask, and I'm not. This is gonna sound like I'm making a bigger thing out of it than I am, but I am just genuinely curious. What is the ratio of females to males on one of these things? Typically speaking,
so far, at least in this one, there are 0 men because they don't want to be around a gaggle of bitches. But
is that the technical term for is gaggle the plural for that? Is that what?
If it's not, it should be.
Right.
But say the PTA I had come from, they had a male on their board after I left.
But typically speaking, we're talking majority
is female.
And I'm not saying that makes it any worse or better or whatever. I was just more curious how many men are getting involved in something like this, and I'm not saying it should be the other way around or just because Christ, I don't need to be canceled. I just, I just want to make, I'm just curious. It has always seemed to me to be a primarily female-led thing, which I'm not against a female-led thing, but like I was curious how often you had men involved in something like this. So,
I mean, not often.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, from what you're saying. So.
That being said, now you go to the county and state level, because here's the thing, there's tiers, right?
I don't think I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's national PTA, and which is the biggest umbrella. It's nationwide. They oversee every PTA in every state.
Which is, and I'm sure, thousands, right? It's got to be.
Probably even more. You're talking probably millions.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, right. Because each school has its own PTA, right? So.
Right, and each county could have, depending on how big the county is,
could have a couple dozen schools depending on the situation. Yeah.
So you have national, which is the big umbrella. Then underneath of that, you have the state umbrella.
Are any of them paid? Like when you get to that level, is there a paycheck, or do you think, or do you know?
I don't know.
I
To
think
be
at some level it
honest,
has to become a paid position. Like maybe not at the local level like you're at, but when you get to that level,
at some level, probably. I don't know that you're going to be making
no, it's not. It's not a career thing. It's side
right.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um. So then you have state, and then you have the county, which is basically the school's parent, if that makes sense, right? And then and so
Wow.
what?
Do you want to? I'm not to. Do you want to guess the salary? Okay, so first off, the national PTA is a paid gig.
Okay, well there you go.
Do you want to take a? Do you want to take a shot at what the salary range is, depending on the position?
Not really, but
I mean, it's not like insanely ridiculous, but it's definitely more than I thought it would be. That's for sure.
is it like a teacher salary at the very minimum?
It might be more if I'm doing the math right.
Well.
It ranges from $87,000 to $114,000 annually.
Oh, well, there you go. See, CJ, you should go on National PTA.
Right. I'm actually comfortably around that number, so I'm okay where I'm at. But thank you. But I still that's not what I expected. To the point that you were just saying, I expected to be a bit of a side gig where it would be maybe like 20 to 40. Do you know what I mean? Maybe.
I mean,
you know
they do a lot more, right?
Of course they do. It's national. We just said they're literally overseeing probably millions of PTAs. So
yeah.
I'm sure it's a full time. It could potentially be a full time gig, I guess. Now that I think about it, but like I wouldn't have guessed that salary rate for it. And I'm not criticizing it. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I'm not saying anything positive about it. I just didn't think I wouldn't have guessed that if.
I mean, I'd say that was a positive if you were making that much just doing that.
Yeah, but, I mean, again, we don't know how taxing it is. Yeah.
I mean, well, it is. It's politics without being politics, if that makes sense.
No, it actually. Well, I mean, there's politics. I mean, there's politics in my job to some degree. You don't have elections and shit, but still, corporate America has office politics. There's just not official elections.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble is you're running a nonprofit, right?
Well, I'm starting to wonder if this is at the national level. You know what I mean?
It is. It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
It has to be a nonprofit.
I believe you.
I mean, there are a lot of like CEOs of nonprofits and stuff.
Oh yeah. No,
so
sure.
I mean,
and
they make a good amount of money also.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to see if I could get more information. Excuse me.
But, yeah.
But to get it, I have to join Glassdoor, and I'm not doing that. So.
Okay. But yeah. Look at you using Google and shit.
I mean, I got to do something on this show.
I didn't even go that far because I wasn't interested.
Well, I mean, again, I got to do something on this episode.
But yeah, so if you've got issues.
Oh, I do.
I meant with your PTA, not.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Not in general. Then you would go to the county PTA. Right.
I mean, yeah, you got to go up the chain. You're not going to typically go right to national unless it's something like, I would imagine if it's maybe like completely egregious, maybe you go to that level. But I would say typically you go up the chain of command or whatever.
So yeah, so these girls.
Is this alluding back to the insanity you were telling me was occurring, or are we not there yet?
No, we're there. So what happens is that a lot of people felt that they weren't doing what they should be. I agree.
Okay.
And come elections, which, by the way, I want to take a quick second. The way that elections are supposed to be held is this way.
The fact that you said it that way is frightening.
It should be, because it was not handled appropriately in any form. But
all jokes aside, at that location or in the entire area? So, like, I'm just curious.
So between the two schools that I'm part of, it's basically the same folks.
Okay, and both right
running them.
Well, it makes sense because just like your child, they went from one building to the next.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, in both of them, this was not handled the way it should be handled. And so, in a typical in the appropriate situation that where it's handled the way it's supposed to be handled, what happens is the president calls a general meeting with all of the membership. And so in that general meeting is when you ask for at least 3 to 5 people. Typically, you only get 3 people to form a nominating committee.
Okay.
Now, the rules to this nominating committee are this. It has to be open for any member to be able to join.
Okay.
If you get, again, you never do, but if you get more than 5 people, then the president can pick between them to make the 3 or 5 people that, right? Again, you barely get the 3.
Right.
3 are required to make said committee, right? That, and also the president is not allowed to sit on the committee. They are not allowed to have anything to do with the committee. Period. End of story. Meaning, once these 3 people have been assigned the task, she can only say, hey, since you're on the nominating committee, you get to run the first meeting, make sure it happens.
God, this is the current president, not the
right, because you don't know who the next president would be.
Well, ideally, well, no, sure, right, but I guess it's more important. I guess it's more important to say, is there a term limit?
So, yes, you can sit as president for up to 2 consecutive terms. However, the exception would be if there was no one to take your place. Like, no one said, hey, I want to be president.
Because there has to be one.
Because there has to be one.
Right, that makes sense. I've heard of that before, not with PTA, but just in general. There's other things that have a similar.
Right. And that's true for any of those elected positions. If no one's not willing to fill them, but the person who's already filling that seat is willing to continue, right?
Yeah.
Then cool, you get nominated. Enjoy your nomination. I
mean, if you want to sign up for this bullshit third time, right. You go for it.
Like, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the caveat. But so the current president is not allowed to have any sort of discussion or say in what the nominating committee does. Like, legitimately, not that it does I mean, maybe it does happen, I don't know, but they could all just smoke cigars and drink whiskey and call it a meeting, and she would have absolutely no idea what they were doing.
That's a
And
city
then
council meeting. That's what that is.
that they're very similar. I mean,
yeah.
So, they could just sit there and play poker and
Again, that's a city council meeting you're talking about.
right. So, but the point being is that they are tasked with finding people to fill said positions. So, most important being president, treasurer, recording secretary, right? Now, I will tell you that I had nominated myself to be on nominating committee at these particular places on one occasion. I did it for both.
And you're not supposed to do that, right? Am I correct if I'm what I've been paying attention correctly? Is that correct?
No, I wasn't president.
Oh, okay. Well, you were.
No, for that one, I didn't. I barely wanted the positions I was nominated for. But yeah. So, but for here for these PTAs that we're discussing now, the ones that I'm currently with,
right.
I had I want to say last year or something. I had opted to be part of the nominating committee. Now, ask me how many times the nominating committee has gotten together that I was aware of, anyway.
How many times were you aware the nominating committee got together?
0. We never got together. I never was given any names to vet, nothing of what the actual nominating committee is meant to do there. Legitimately, one of the ladies just decided she was going to put all the names together on a piece of paper and presented them at elections, and that was it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound correct.
On the up and up?
Yeah.
No.
That honestly goes directly to the popularity contest comment that I made like 35 minutes ago or whatever it was. Like,
it's just keeping your friends where they want to be. That's it. So
yeah.
In that light, and I have on a couple occasions, in both places, the president had said if you want to stay in your position, please let me know.
Huh.
Why am I letting you know, ma'am? You're not supposed to be part of the nominating committee. I don't know what you think you're like. What are we doing here?
Right.
And also, too, I'm sure you're going to laugh at this. Remember, I said that a general meeting with all members of the PTA are supposed to be, it's supposed to be open to them. Whether they show up or not is obviously a different matter. But
I do remember you saying that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. They decided the nominating committee during a typical board meeting. And one of which, the president gets into the chat and says, oh, it's me and 2 others that were at the board meeting that are on the nominating committee, to which someone turns and says, I'm sorry, ma'am, did you not read your own bylaws? Because I'm fairly certain you're not allowed to be on the nominating committee. What happened to you? Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
My keyboard has a lock button, and I reached over to get my glass. My bracelet tapped the lock button and locked my computer.
Oh, wow, that's fun. I was like, what?
I didn't lose you the entire time though. Nothing. You could have kept going, and I could have unlocked it, and no one would have been the wiser. So.
Well, except for it's on recording. No.
Well, on YouTube, not on audio.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyway.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. Yoo-hoo, family. So yeah. So not only did this person not know who was on her board in order to try to kick me out.
She didn't know her laws either.
She didn't know her own bylaws. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Many things.
I'm like, the one person who's running these meetings who should know the laws that she's being tasked with executing, you can't make this shit up. You really can't.
I mean, you can. But...
I mean, they made some shit up. It wasn't that.
They made their own laws.
Yeah, they made exactly. They made their own rules up, and everybody was like, I don't think that's right.
That's not how that works.
I can even show you in the bylaws exactly where it says. And I was like, wow, why did we vote for that one to be president? Since she clearly knows what's going on.
Right, right.
Legit, all you need to know is how to read. Like, there's no other prerequisite to this gig at all. Like, man. So then they decided that they were going to have another general meeting at this point. And I'm like, well, at least they fixed their mistake, right? Now, when I tell you at this meeting, even with myself, my friend, all of them, and the principal sitting in, they did not have quorum because you need 10 members to make quorum in a general meeting.
Okay.
I was like, are we joking here? So then they proceeded to create said nominating committee. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't have quorum. You should have just ended the fucking meeting here or postponed for like 10 minutes to go and pick up a random teacher on break or something.
Just for the sake of the listening audience, I will quickly read to you the definition of a quorum because some people may not know exactly what that means. So, a quorum is a minimal number of members required to be present at a meeting to legally conduct business, hold votes, or make official decisions. If this requirement is not met, the group cannot proceed with official actions. That is the definition of a quorum.
Right. So, legitimately, you only need 10 members. We had 8. I'm like, you couldn't just go find 2 teachers on break or some shit? Like,
all right. Get the lunch lady. She ain't doing shit. Come on now.
I mean, as long as she paid her dues, like, and became, hell, you can pay her. I actually legitimately paid dues for my lunch ladies because as a gift to them because they wanted to be part of PTA but never could because they felt, I mean, our dues are $10, but
I was gonna say, how expensive was this? But you just said it.
Not very. It's like $10, but ultimately, you know.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, I'll pay your dues right now if you come and.
Just so we have 10 fucking people to do this thing. Yeah.
Like, Like it doesn't take much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Get Bob the janitor in here. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
Like, I'll sign you up right now. I'll pay for it. It's not that sad. Like that's all you needed was 2 more people. Like that's to me that says so much about you as a group that you can't even get 10 people to like you enough to be in the same room with you for more than 5 minutes.
I think it's also that, and also, you know what, it to me, I had said earlier about it being a popularity contest, but honestly, the more I'm hearing about it, the more you're talking about these things, right? Like, it's supposed to be serious business by all means. I'm not going to dispute that, right? But it sounds more like it's a social group or a social club than at least in these 2 instances, not at a global level, right? But like in these 2 specifics that you're talking about, it sounds more like it's a social club than a group that actually wants to accomplish anything.
Right. Which, I mean, they've got, Bumble groups for that.
Yeah, they got a BFF for that. Go form your fucking group there. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, come on, guys. So, I mean, to me, I'm just kind of, I came, and I just to give you some perspective, I had come a little bit late into that meeting because I had like a health episode right before I left the house.
Lovely.
To go to that meeting. And so I wasn't in a state where I could drive safely. So, which is ironic since I hit somebody when I was completely fine.
Oh, yeah.
But, so I wasn't in a state where I could drive at that point. So I texted my friend. I said, listen, just go in without me. I will be there as soon as I can. And I explained to her the situation. She's like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. She's like, if you can't make it, don't like push it.
There'd be even more people at that point, it sounds like.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, not that it mattered.
Right, really.
Not that it mattered. I mean, they proceeded with business, which legitimately, I found it hilarious that they they even acknowledged, they said, they looked around the room and they were like, oh, we don't have quorum in order to approve our last meeting minutes. So we'll have to do that at the next general meeting. And I'm like, then nothing else. That should have been your last sentence, meeting adjourned, because there's nothing else we can do here. If you can't even approve meeting minutes, like, right. And that literally is just somebody reading the fucking minutes and going, motion to approve, I second, we're done. Like, listen, you don't need 10 people for that.
In my organization, we have a quarterly meeting that I attend. Now, I literally have zero power at these meetings. I'm literally a fly on the wall. That is my purpose for being there, is to observe. But right. I will tell you now that, and I'm sure there's nothing shady about what's happening. Like, I'm not saying this because I think shadiness is happening, but just to your point.
Oh, shadiness is happening.
Well, maybe yours, but I'm saying it, the one that I'm talking about, right?
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, is that meeting minutes are not even like read and approved. They're sent out, and but it's assumed that the people at the meeting have read said minutes, and if they're approved, if no one objects, then too fucking bad. You should have read the damn thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's not. There's not even a reading of the minutes.
Right. Like, so what they do is they have printouts, and you get the meeting minutes when you walk in.
Well, yeah, but you said there was a reading of the minutes. Maybe I just misunderstood what you meant. But
I meant, like, you just have to read them, whether somebody, like, you as a member.
Oh, so there's not actually a point where people are, like, reading out.
No, they're not. Okay.
No. Sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah, no, it's just you take them when you walk in and sign in, say I'm here,
Right.
and
right.
then
I
then
mean,
you
it's
take
kind of the same thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So.
and you also, the treasurer is meant to have a budget report at these meetings as well. So, you know, for full transparency, because ultimately, like, it's an entire school, supposedly, I mean, not the entire school is a member, but
Right.
that's other people's money you're using
Right.
to fund a lot of these programs that you're doing. So ultimately, like, you got to let people know what you're doing with their damn money. Like, even if it is $10, like, that's still $10 that somebody worked their ass off to get. Like, so if they're giving it to you, make sure you let them know what the fuck they're spending it on, right?
Right.
Like,
No, for sure. Although I would argue that's where Kickstarter came up with their business plan. Let's not tell people what their money is being spent on.
okay. But
I'm just saying, I got money and shit that's been sitting there for 20 years. I still don't have the product in my hand. So, like, you know, or at least 10 years, I think. But yeah.
I'm very sorry for your Ponzi scheme that you found yourself in.
I mean, it wasn't a large amount of money, but damn, you know.
So, I don't know. To me, I because I had come to, I wasn't late by, like, it was marginal. I mean, maybe a minute to maybe 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It was like not a ton of help. They could have found 3 other fucking people in that 5 minutes it took me to get in the door.
Right. And it'd still been short.
And they'd still been short. So I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? So ironically, I kind of looked at our principal and I was like, wow, he looks really like, I get that it's end of year shit and there's a lot going on but I'm like, my guy just looks like he's about up to here with, like, everything. He's just like I walk in and he's like, hey, how are you doing? Almost like, join the fucking party. Like, and I was like,
join the shit show. Here's the shit show.
And I come over and I'm like, and he's like, please come sit next to us. And I was like, I mean, yeah. And I sit down and he's just kind of like, we got to move this fucking shit along fast. And I'm like, wow, there's no point. Like, this should have been a 5-minute meeting, because it should have been, sorry, we don't have quorum. This is not an official meeting. We're done here. Let's do this properly, instead of giving people 3 days to fucking get here and get the notice. Typically, these things are scheduled like a month in advance, usually. I mean, just saying.
You did say they weren't doing things exactly correct, so.
No, they were not. And so, and at said meeting, this is the part that is like the chef's kiss to all of this, is they said, oh, now that we have the nominating committee, we'll take any emails for nominations into consideration. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, all 6 of us that are not you that are here. I know I didn't email anybody. Pretty sure my friend emailed no one. about any position that she might want because she wants out.
Right, right.
Pretty sure the principal emailed nobody about
Anything.
anything. He's like, in fact, send less emails. That'd be super. Like,
how do I turn the spam filter on again? Like,
it's a real life. It was in person. That makes it worse.
Yeah,
I
right.
think. So I'm like, this is kind of like you know the running gag, like the meeting that should have been an email.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I've sadly been a part of those, and sadly I've had to organize a few of those only because the email would have gone ignored. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the caveat to that joke.
I
is
mean,
that there are definitely I've definitely had to have scheduled meetings that could have been emails, but if it had gone in email, it would have been ignored, and so the meeting had to take place so that people would pay the fuck attention to what I was needing to discuss. You know.
Yeah. Well, this was kind of had it been an email, probably would have gotten more attention. You probably would have had a quorum.
Yeah, right. More people would have seen the damn thing.
But so as soon as they adjourned the meeting, so they said they're gonna, as soon as they adjourned the meeting, and now my friend turned to them and said, "You have to post the nominating committee's slate of nominees."
Yeah.
Like, I think she said 10 days prior to the official election meeting, right? Because you have to give people 30 days in advance notice of the election, so that, because why? You have to be a member for 30 days in order to be eligible to vote.
You also need to make sure you're going to have quorum at this point.
So, they had quorum. But the point is that if, like, I mean, people get busy, right? You might not have put your dues in the beginning of the year, but that's kind of your wake up call to be like, oh, am I a member? Let me go check and let me go pay my dues today so that I can go vote at this meeting, right?
Next month. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Right. But if you do it too late, then those people don't have a chance, which then therefore begs the question, why are you, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that speaks to shady behavior at that level, right? So we left, and principal ran on. He was like, sorry, I don't mean to run out. I know I usually stop and talk to you guys, but I have like other meetings I have to get to that are like really like I late already. And I was like, yeah, I can see that you're I can see that you didn't even want to be here. You just kind of was here just to be here, which is, it is what it is, right? So now, because she said 10 days prior, now, wouldn't you know that?
Or 10 days, yeah. 10
Yeah.
days prior to the election, you said, right?
Right, yes. Yeah. Now, wouldn't you know that literally that evening, like within hours, slate posted.
Can it not go out earlier? Is that not allowed? I'm asking.
Well, the trouble is we were when was this meeting? I'm trying to remember. We were within 10, they had a couple days where they could have sent out an email to members saying, hey, if you're interested, please email us at blah, 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 blah. That never happened.
About being a nominee, you mean?
Right.
Okay.
Never happened.
Well, yeah.
I know I didn't get an email.
You didn't want it.
No, but I'm saying like, but that's legitimately what should have happened is they should have, because you literally just got your nominating committee together. There's no possible way that they got nominees. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Especially because you literally just put them together, which means that you had your people preset. You just decided that you were gonna you wasted everybody's time basically in having this meeting. That's what they did.
Lovely.
Yeah. So so they sent it out that night, and I was like, and my friend emails me, texts me, and she's like, so much for taking emails. She's like, how many people already emailed them? I want to know between what was it, 3 o'clock today, and it went out at 6 or 7 o'clock today. In 4 hours, who emailed you? Like in 4 hours, who even fucking knew who was on the nominating committee?
Right, right.
I was like, wow. So off to a wonderful election start. So let's fast forward to election day.
Is this, and I'll edit this out if you want, but is this before or after the get together you mentioned? And do you even want to talk about that part of things?
I mean, we can, because it'll tie in because these are people I met at election day. We show up, and we had a board meeting before the general meeting. And here's the funny part is they turn and they're like, oh, we don't have 10 people during our regular board meeting. Oh, we don't have 10 people. We don't have quorum for the minutes.
Again.
And I turned to them and I was like, I thought this was a regular board meeting. And they're like, yeah, but we need 10 people. I was like, that's for a general meeting because you need 10 members, right? Regardless of who those 10 members are, they can be.
Is the board even 10 people large? I'm curious.
I mean, with chair positions, it can be 15 deep, right?
Okay, I was just curious. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but generally, like regular voted in position board, there's typically only 7.
That was my guess, 5 to 7. Right. So yeah.
So for a regular board meeting, you can approve the minutes as long as you have 2/3 of your board there, which rightfully you only need maybe like 5 to 7 of them at any given time.
Okay.
Right? So like you don't need it there. It's not a hard, you need 10 people for this. Are most of your board members available to just be there? That's the idea.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, you don't need that. And they're like, no, I think our bylaws say that. I'm like, I think you don't even know what your fucking bylaws say. So I don't know why. I'm like, show me, please. If you fucking know your own bylaws, which clearly you don't because you've made so many fucking mistakes so far, like colossal motherfucking blunders, might I add.
Did you say all this, or are you just thinking most of it?
No, I was thinking it. I was just like, I just kind of, I gave up. I was like, whatever. I mean, if you want to like stall your own fucking meeting for no fucking reason in any way, shape, or form, you go ahead. Like, so then the general meeting starts, and a few people trickle in, and then Then I look around, and wouldn't you fucking know, 30 fucking people show up. And I was like, what the fuck? So I turned to my friend and I was like, I don't think they're ready for this. Something is going down, and I wish I had popcorn right now. I completely wish. Well, that doesn't help me out, does it? And it didn't help me out then.
No.
So now, again, knowing how these meetings are supposed to be run, okay, number one is in any fucking election meeting, you should have your membership VP at the front with the sign-in sheet with a list of every member that is a member.
Yeah, like an attendance
in hand.
thing almost. Yeah.
Right, but basically making sure that whoever signing in is, they don't have to be a member to join the meeting, but they have to be a member to vote. Right. So ultimately, you have to correspond it against your membership list, the sign-in sheet, so that that way, when it's time to vote, you don't give a non-member a ballot.
Right. Of course.
Now, ask me if they did that.
I don't think I need to.
They didn't do that. They also should have empty paper in case they do have to have a ballot, because any member or non-member, really anybody, can run against a pick of the nominating committee. Like, just because they posted a slate doesn't mean that somebody can't run from the floor.
It's almost like PTA filibustering.
Yeah. And ultimately, like, you should have that ability to have empty paper for people to be able to vote in case it comes down to a vote, right?
Right.
Most of the time, no one argues or wants to run against you. That did not happen this day. Was
there a coup?
Yeah.
Nice.
There was a bunch of, and I'll tell you what, it was band moms that came and were like, we hate the way you treat people. We're running against you.
I have to pause you there for just a second, Jules, because like maybe it's the beer, maybe it's the hour, maybe it's the end of the week. I don't know. But like when you said they were banned moms, I was like, why are these people banned? Like, not. I get what you mean now. I clicked, but for a minute I was like, why are they? Wait, what?
Right. Like their kids are in the band.
No, I get it now, but I mean, for the moment, it was just like these people are banned, and they're wait, how did what? That's the whole process that went through my head in like 45 seconds. Seriously.
They're band moms. And so
you don't fuck with them band parents, man. Let me tell you something. I know that.
No, you do not. So yeah, so of course, now these women are completely oblivious to what's about to happen, right?
Meaning the PTA people or the band moms?
The PTA people.
Gotcha.
Oh, the band moms, no. They were there to throw down, bro. Yeah, I'll tell you what, even the band teacher was there.
Oh dear.
I was like, when you see actual legit teachers at one of these things, which they've never come to, that's when you go, shit's about to happen, and I need some sort of snack or shield. I don't know, something. I need something.
Yeah.
Some tea.
Can we start serving alcohol at these things, please? Like, seriously, like.
I know, right? Can we make an exception after hours? Yeah. So they go through their spiel where someone on the nominating committee says our pick for president is X, Y, and Z, this person. Would anyone like to run from the floor?
Well, at least they gave the option, because
they have to.
Well, they clearly don't know their bylaws already, so there's a chance that doesn't happen.
They knew that one, I guess.
They knew that one, yeah.
So, one of the moms, me, I would like to nominate this person for president. Okay. And then, deer caught in headlights, because she was like, what the fuck do? We need ballots. And I'm like, well, y'all can't find empty paper. You're in a fucking school, for crying out loud.
But everything is done on laptops now. I'm just saying.
It was ridiculous. And then
so is this woman, this newly nominated woman, running against the existing president? Like, is this a second term, or
no? So they decided another person who's on the board would run for president, and they basically voluntold her at that nominating farce of a nominating committee meeting.
Right.
They were like, oh, you're running for president. She's like, I am. And we all looked at each other, between me, my friend, and the principal, and we're like, you do realize that this person has to, like, accept the nomination, not, like, okay. And so we thought they were joking. Clearly they were not. So this poor woman was, like, put in between a rock and a hard place at this level. So the principal goes and he grabs, like, some paper, and I'm like, wow, he's the only smart one out of the lot of you. That's just fucking this is awesome. And then we're like, you have to now make sure that only members get a ballot. And I kid you not, they spent 20 minutes running through the lists to make sure that everyone who was signed in was also a member. And
is there
pretty
like a membership card or something that they can?
They're actually, I think there is. It's digital.
Even easier if you do it right.
Therein lies the problem here, CJ.
Doing it right.
Right, exactly.
Doing the right part, yeah.
Anyway, so they spent 20 minutes. And then, if I call your name, come up and get a ballot. And I was like, wow. Now you're going to waste, like, another 10 minutes handing 40 people a piece of fucking paper.
The whole time the band moms are going, this is exactly why we're doing this. Like, the whole time, that's exactly what.
I mean, you're not joking, because that's true. So everybody gets their ballot. They write their
blank piece of paper and a pencil.
Right. And they write their name for their preferred president on there. And then the principal found, like, a suggestion box thing.
Type of thing. Yeah, that you could put the ballot. Yeah, something to put the ballots in.
Right. And
a baseball hat wasn't available somewhere. Like,
I know, right? And so he's like, you can put them in here. And then he made sure he was one of the people to count
Good.
the ballots.
Good. Yeah. Because it sounds like he actually knows what he's. I mean, you deal with him on a. You may not have done it on purpose, Tools, but you painted a quasi negative picture of him earlier when you were talking about like he didn't want to like how he sounded like he didn't want to be there. And I'm sure he didn't actually want to be there, but like because of this lunacy that you're describing. But like I'm saying, like, is he overall a competent principal in general?
Oh,
Like,
he's amazing, and honestly, he loves PTA because when you partner properly with the school,
it's a really useful organization. Right, I hear you.
Everybody benefits because there's stuff that PTA can fund that the school just does not have the budget to do.
Right. I got you. Okay, I just was curious. I know you didn't do it on purpose, but you painted a quasi negative picture.
No, my intent was more to paint the picture of him being fed up with this group because of
sure.
all the negative feedback I'm sure he was getting from parents, because if I was hearing things through a grapevine and it's not
he
like
I'm getting it direct. Yeah, no, I got you.
And he's getting legitimate complaints for sure.
Right, and I'm sure I know that wasn't your intention, but I also feel like it was important to point out. So I just wanted to clarify that for anyone.
Yeah, else. No, if that's how it came off, that wasn't the intent for sure.
No, I didn't think so, but I just still thought it was important. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he counts the ballots, and he actually came. Now, it's important for you to realize that, like, typically, it's the nominating committee that counts the ballots. He's clearly not on there, but
he's not a moron.
No, that's one. Number two, one of them was running for a position. And
they also probably didn't think they had enough quorum to count.
They're idiots. So she could not legally be a teller, meaning a counter.
Right, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
And so, I mean, she still counted, but he was a third on that panel.
To kind of counter that. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah.
So now I'm going to let you guess what you think the votes went to.
The band mom was like a landslide. I'm sure of it.
Almost.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
It was a 29-10 in her favor.
I would call that a landslide. Yeah. I would absolutely call that a landslide.
Okay.
Out of 30?
I mean.
Or what was it, 50, I guess? You said 29-10, so almost 40 people?
40, yeah.
Yeah, out of 40, someone abstaining from the sounds of it, yeah, I would fucking call that a landslide.
Okay. I mean, for me, landslide means like you all got almost zero votes, but sure. I guess
would
that's
say
true.
10 or less, especially in that forum, would be a landslide, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So she wins, and
they're all stunned, I'm sure.
They are, because they were like,
oh shit.
So, of course, they go through the next motion.
Let me guess, it's kind of a repeat of the same process.
No. So what happens is, when they go to the next position, anybody want to nominate from the floor? Yep. Me. Very well. You can have it, because I'm not going to waste anybody's time. You're obviously going to win. So congratulations. You are
really?
Yeah. And so all down the line until every one of them was replaced without contention.
Huh.
That speaks volumes to me, because when your membership couldn't be bothered to show up any other time during the year for any other of your general meetings, and they show up, and they don't just show up, but they show up and tell you, we don't want you running things anymore.
Yeah.
That's telling.
A little bit. A little bit.
That's basically saying you didn't pay attention to what your membership wanted from the very beginning, and now it's coming to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they all visibly upset, ended the meeting, and walked. Well, we thought they walked out, but they walked into like a side room with the principal and started freaking out. And they turned to him and they're like, "This is your new board now. I hope you're happy." And I'm like, wow.
If I'm that guy, I'm like, actually, yes, I am. Thank you.
And so I was just like, and then what floored me way more was they come up to my friend. Well, one of them comes up to my friend and basically says, like, you basically made all your issues everybody else's issues, and this is what happened. And I'm like, you got dethroned. That's what happened. Like,
did you say that?
No, I was stunned because I didn't expect her to come up like behind her, like I was sitting next to her. I didn't expect her to come up, and just as quickly as she said it, did she like do her little rat scurry out and into the other room. And I was like,
I love how you described it.
And I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, what happened? And my poor friend, like she started crying, and I was like, and I gave her a hug. I was like, listen, bitches are bitches. That's all you have to say. And I said, and also remember, don't argue with people who should have been swallowed.
I also. Good night, everybody. to quote our friend Smoke from BFITW, that's a T-shirt. Like that's. Yeah.
So I felt bad for her because it all culminates into this, like, I'm like, if you knew that you were being an asshole, instead of apologizing to somebody, you doubled down because they basically had support. Like, they had support. Period.
Right. And maybe I miss. I mean, I've been paying attention, but maybe I missed something. I don't know how your friend gets the rap on this. Where did I miss that? I must have missed that.
Because they had this narrative that she was bad mouthing them and saying that they were nasty and mean and that they were bullies and all this other stuff.
But it was true.
Well, right. But also too, to my knowledge, she was only confiding in me about that specifically because we're on the same board, right?
Right.
Whereas to others, like the band moms and stuff, she didn't say anything about them like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
But they kind of drew their own conclusions based on how they felt about them.
And they were correct from the sound of it. So.
And I mean, was she somebody who told them, like, hey, if you go against them, you have, like, she basically told them, hey, Julie will be on your side if you go against them. basically like you'll have support if
Right.
you go
Yeah.
against them.
Right.
So that's how I got roped into all of that.
So the thing you
And-
went to, was that with the band moms?
Right.
Okay.
It was with the band moms because like apparently like they were super
victory
sweet.
party.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, "Hey, come out because, we kind of want to celebrate winning the election, but more importantly, doing what's right for the kids." And
Right.
and so they I had actually went out with them and I mentioned that I do a podcast and that I was going to discuss this on one of our podcast episodes, and one of them was like, "Oh, can we be on it as guests? I have a lot to say." And I'm like, "I bet you do, ma'am, but
Well,
I bet you
maybe
do."
we'll have them on in the future, because that could be entertaining, So,
But it could
and,
be.
and now that I know that this group has money to throw around, I think we could use some sponsorship. So, like,
Oh, PTA's not sponsoring us.
oh, I'm
But
just teasing.
But
But
yeah,
no,
so
yeah.
it was. I mean, it was a good time. It was just, it was hilarious. And actually, one of them said, "Oh, you run a podcast?" She's like, "Send me the link. I want to listen," and she did.
Oh,
So
do you like it, or haven't you heard?
she called me the other day, and because I also got roped into to doing PTA and band again next year.
Are you a band mom? Are you?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, I kind of knew that, but I didn't know that, because when you say band mom to me, I think like marching band, and like the as opposed to maybe like in a auditorium on a riser. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
that's more what it is. It's not
yeah,
marching band. Yeah.
But typically when you say to me like band mom, band parent, band kid, like that's what I think. And that's not saying it's
Yeah.
a bad thing. I'm just saying that's the visual that I get, is
Right.
the uniform and the marching and that whole bit. So yeah.
Yeah. No, minus the uniform.
Right.
The marching.
Right. Basically minus all the things that I just said except the instruments. So,
Right. They do have to play instruments.
I think that's a prerequisite.
Although one of the kids plays a mean cowbell, so
I mean, you got to have more cowbell. I mean,
that's
so,
right.
eh,
I need more cowbell.
I was actually watching. There's a game show I watch called The Floor. Have you ever seen this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm not going to get into all the specifics tonight, but the general concept is you duel against another person against over a specific topic, and then you have to typically, and there are some exceptions, but typically the idea is you have to name the image you see related to the topic that's being dueled. And one of them was musical instruments on the last one that I watched, and a cowbell popped up because it is, as much as we're having a joke, it is an instrument,
It is.
And the person did their best. I mean, it wasn't good, but they did their best Chris Walken cowbell thing when they said it. Yeah.
I'm not good at it either. So
No, but they didn't even do the whole thing. They just said cowbell, because you have to be fair. You only get 45 seconds to go back and forth on this thing, so you have to be very fast. But they still said it with the inflection or whatever. They still said it they didn't give me the whole line, but they definitely just said cowbell, like, with that drawl out walking thing. It was funny. So.
Well, there you go.
Rob Lowe hosts the thing. It's fantastic. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different episode. But
indeed.
Anyway, so I guess that brings us up to modern day then, right?
Yep. So
I would say, all jokes aside, if you think having one or any or all of these ladies on in some way is helpful, not necessarily to the story that you just told, but to the actual school or whatever, by all means, we can certainly have. We are going to have guests on. You and I have talked about that behind the scenes, and I'm not saying it's going to be next recording, but we are going to have guests on in the future. We have some lined up. We have one more or less confirmed, and the others are definitely interested that we've contacted. So, I mean, by all means, and I mean, sadly, most of the people we're talking about are all people I know. You've met a couple through the beginning of this, but for the most part, they're all people I know. So if you want to have these ladies on to talk about things, whether it be a follow up to this conversation or something else that might be entertaining or educational, and I don't mean in the traditional sense of the word, but you learn something new. I didn't know shit about PTAs till now. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination after this, but at least I know something.
Well, you got the Cliff Notes version, so
exactly. I mean, but it's still, So I'm just saying that it would be they're more than welcome to join us, whether it be one or all. I mean, logistics we'll have to figure out, but that's a different discussion for off air. But I still think we could totally do it. We could definitely have the conversation. So yeah, let's at least consider it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it was a legitimate
yeah, you get excited.
Volunteer. It was more like, there was booze involved, and
sure,
sure. and they hear podcast and they hear me talking shit on PTA, and they're like, yeah, I'm all for it. Let's all do it.
I mean, let's do it. Fucking do it. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, but I also, as someone who's podcasted consistently more over the last decade than you, I will tell you that a lot of people do say they want to do it, and then I'd say like 50% of them actually do it. And that's not me putting down to people that say they want to do it and then don't. But I think they get excited about the idea, and then when the reality kicks in, they're like, not so sure about that. So,
right. I think, and this is probably a full topic we could get into later on, but I think that there's an air of imposter syndrome when it comes to something like this, where
absolutely,
where you think you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't think I have much to offer.
I've been doing this off and on now for 10 years. I've had a total of 3 shows that were mine, or that I was a part of directly, and then I've been on at least a half a dozen more as a guest in either a reoccurring or a one-off capacity. And I still feel that way every time. So I totally did. And it actually does sound like a fun conversation. So maybe we should revisit that. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can tell you for a fact that happened. I felt that way about the radio show every fucking Thursday and Saturday for 5 years. Like it's, so.
Yeah, it's, So I think that's probably where I think people kind of get cold feet, is they kind of they think it sounds cool to be on a podcast, and then they're like, no, I don't think I want to do this.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And it's not, and I think it's important to point out that neither of us are putting anyone down. It's just things sound good in principle, and so you get ready to execute, and then you're like, okay, yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's if that's all there is to your story, Jules. I think
that's all there is to my story.
Then I would say that's your story and you're sticking to it. But let's. I think it's a good time for us to bid adieu to our listeners this particular recording.
Yep, as all things must come to an end, and sadly, this is the end of our episode. But join us next time when the wheel spins to a new day and topic. See you on the next spin.